Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a seriously powerful framework. It comes from the Inspire Path, and it's all about entirely rebuilding yourself in just 365 days. So, if you've been feeling kind of stuck in a rut lately, or maybe you just feel like time is passing you by without making any real progress, well, consider this your ultimate no-nonsense wake-up call. We're going to map out exactly what it takes to completely transform your trajectory over this next year.
I want you to look at the sheer, uncompromising weight of this question. Seriously, I want you to honestly ask yourself right now, if the world gave you just 1 year to completely change your life, would you rise to the occasion? Or would you simply repeat the exact same excuses that held you back last year? We are putting everything on the table right here. The stakes for your next 12 months, they are officially set.
So, let's move right into our first core concept. Section 1. The ultimate wake-up call. Time isn't slowing down. And the hard reality our source material hits us with here is that your life will inevitably change in the next 12 months. It's gonna happen, whether you're ready for it or not. Comfort is definitely not your friend here, guys. Those familiar excuses you rely on, they are quietly but very effectively killing the future you're dreaming about. Just listen to this. 1 year is enough to break you, and 1 year is enough to rebuild you into someone unrecognizable. I really want that to sink in for a second. A single year is a massive amount of time. Depending on how you use it, you're either actively breaking down your potential or you're building yourself up into an entirely new person.
Which brings us to Section 2, the 2 invisible paths, the choice you make every single day.
You see, the trajectory of your life, it isn't decided in some grand cinematic movie-like moment. No, it's entirely in your hands, mapped out by the choices you make daily. On one side, we've got Path 1. This is the path of staying the exact same. It's safe, it's comfortable, and it's entirely predictable. And look, if we're being deeply honest with ourselves, a lot of us have to admit we've been stuck living on this path for way too long. But on the other side is Path 2. This is the path of growth. Now, it is highly uncomfortable and it requires immense discipline, but let me tell you, it is absolutely life-changing.
But before we talk about how to actually successfully walk down Path 2, we need to firmly strip away some illusions. Here's a list of things that absolutely will not change your life. Hoping it will. Reading books. Getting motivated. Or, even just passively watching this explainer. The source material is brutally honest about this. Merely consuming content or just crossing your fingers for a better future, that achieves absolutely nothing.
The brutal truth of it all, only action changes you. Action is literally the solitary catalyst for transformation. You could have all the knowledge in the world, endless motivation, and the perfect step-by-step plan. But if you don't execute, you're staying firmly planted on that comfortable, predictable path. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. Taking action sounds exhausting, right? How do we actually execute without getting immediately overwhelmed?
Well, that perfectly transitions us to our solution. Section 3, the 1% solution, dismantling the myth of overnight change.
I want to reassure you right now, you absolutely do not need a massive, flawless plan. You don't need to fix your entire life in one single day, and you certainly don't need to be completely fearless to just begin. The main reason most people fail is because they are staring at the whole mountain instead of just taking the next step. It's true. This overwhelming, misguided attempt to change your entire life, all your habits, your routines, all in 24 hours, that is exactly why people keep quitting. You exhaust yourself looking up at the summit instead of just looking at the ground directly in front of your feet.
36 times. This is the sheer power of mathematics, and it's the real secret to transformation. You literally only need to focus on one single thing, getting just 1% better today. Now, doing that for a single day, it really doesn't feel like much. But mathematically speaking, if you compound 1% every single day, by this time next year, you are mathematically 36 times stronger, smarter, and more disciplined.
And when you compare the two approaches, the difference is just staggering. On one hand, trying to fix it all at once leads straight to stagnation and burnout, total flatline. But on the other hand, getting 1% better every day, that approach absolutely rockets up to 36 times growth. This totally proves why real change is so tricky to stick with. It's slow, it's silent, and it's totally invisible at first. But eventually, it compounds into massive, undeniable, explosive results.
Because the payoff of that invisible compounding is inevitable. Eventually, that daily 1% forces its way right to the surface. One day, people are going to look at you and say, "Bro, what happened to you?" That surprised, almost shocked reaction from your friends and peers, That is the hard-earned result of sticking to the 1% rule when nobody else was watching.
All right, moving on to Section 4, visualizing your future self, meeting the person you promised to be.
So, the source material challenges us to do a quick 5-minute mental exercise today just to firmly anchor your intentions for the year. Step 1. See your future self showing up daily. Really visualize that relentless consistency. Step 2. Stop breaking promises to yourself. This right here is exactly how you build unbreakable self-respect. And step 3. Decide, right now, this time, I'm not quitting. I'm challenging you to make these exact mental commitments today. It is time to finally stop lying to ourselves about what we're truly capable of achieving.
Which builds right to our climax here, Section 5, starting your journey today. Day 1 or 1 day. We have to entirely strip away this toxic idea of starting next week or waiting until life gets easier. Newsflash, life doesn't get easier, it just keeps moving. Remember, you can't change the beginning of your story, but you can completely rewrite the ending. That is such an incredibly empowering realization. Whatever excuses you made in the past, whatever failures you experienced last year, they absolutely do not dictate your next 12 months. The pen is in your hand, right now.
The crucial point here is making the verbal and physical commitment, I'm starting today. The source issues a very direct call to action here, and I'm passing it to you. If this explainer pushed you even 1% forward, if it sparked a decision in you to finally get on that path of growth, make this exact commitment. Write it in the comments below, write it in a journal, say it out loud to yourself. I'm starting today.
And finally, I want to conclude with this inspiring message from our source material at The Inspire Path. Every big journey starts from zero. Let's grow together, brick by brick. You know, you aren't doing this alone. Everyone who has ever rebuilt themselves had to start from absolute zero. The profound beauty of the 1% rule is that you literally just lay one brick today. So my final question for you is, what exactly are you going to build with your first brick today?